Good morning. This is me. This is Mandy Foster. My really long hair. Desperately needs a cut. I know it is getting ready for washing, but because I mainly wear it up, I can get away with just washing my fringe, which when you're having depression or when you're going through depression, the energy to wash my hair is virtually non-existent. So I can get away with scraping it back, and my fringe, I'm trying to grow my fringe out, so this is longer than it normally is, so I end up just doing a bun. And then my daughter bought me these amazing clips about 5-6 years ago, if not longer, that just corkscrew in and really hold it in place. I'll just get my glasses on. There we go. So this is me. You can't miss me. Oh, it's maybe that because of the sun. I always have to wear dark glasses. I discovered about, I think it was 2014, 15, that I'm severely dyslexic. Something of a shock, because I had an inkling that I might be slightly dyslexic, because I did really struggle with spelling and reading, but to discover just how dyslexic I was I needed to do a bit of healing on that one. But I also discovered that I have Erland's syndrome, which means I'm hypersensitive to light, and when I read a book, my focus goes on to the rivers of white that go down, a bit like raindrops going down a window. So I lose my focus on the words. It's not that the words jump around or anything. It's the whiteness of the page really just out focuses the black of the letters. Because what Erland's does, it's not just a sensitivity to the sun. It's not my eyes. It's something to do with my brain and the way it's wired. So it affects my brain and it causes an anxiety reaction. So in myself, I'm not actually anxious, but there's that overload of light, a bit like overload of senses and sight and sound, and it causes that anxiety reaction. So at the moment, going through a season of depression with anxiety and spring coming, I feel as if I'm carrying a huge weight on my chest that is pressing, and talking about myself isn't helping. But I am a Christian, so this vlog will contain some Christian content, but it is not intended as a conversion technique. It's not a Bible bashing vlog. It is, God is part of my life and he is definitely part of my healing. So there will be Christian content, so please don't be offended by that. This is just me and about my business and my life, and hopefully talking through my healing through this season of depression, I guess. I was lying in bed this morning thinking about because I'm doing the all age service this morning for the kids and youth, and I just really got this sense that God wanted me to do something that takes me out of my comfort zone. This is not my comfort zone. I like to be in the background. I'm very happy to do things and then leave other people to take the glory. I like to be more behind the scenes. So being up front and talking is not my bag. But I know God really calls us to do things that are out of our comfort zone. And as you can tell, Blossom is right in her comfort zone, having her ears scratched. She is not backwards in telling us what it was that she actually needs. So today is Sunday. It's Easter Sunday and the sun is out. There was a light frost, so the grass looked lovely this morning with the covering of frost. But there was a big part of me wanted to crawl back into bed and pull the covers over and just hide there for the day, which I know is depression. I am taking not antibiotics. I am taking antidepressants at the moment. I'm not a believer in struggling. God gave us doctors to help us through these times that we struggle physically or emotionally. He created our bodies with an element of healing, and I believe that depression is a way for our bodies to heal. Hi, you saying hi now? Yeah. So just like if we broke our leg, we wouldn't keep walking on it, we would rest it, we would have a cast, we'd probably take painkillers while our body did what it needed to do to heal. And I believe, and I've come to understand, that depression is when our soul and our spirit, when our bodies slow down, when we need to, or our subconscious needs to deal with something, needs time to sort it out, needs time to organise it and process it. And I'm not sure what that is at the moment. I've got some inkling, and I'll probably share that with you in later vlogs. But for the time being, I believe that, you know, the depression is my body slowing down. There is something, maybe something from the past that I need to process. I need to deal with the emotions that maybe I stuffed down, that I didn't want to face at the time, that that my dog keeps photobombing the video. So that's where I am at the moment, is allowing my body to process, to slow down. You see, when you look at Bible times, and again, please don't be offended, I am a Christian, this is where my belief comes in, that there wasn't depression in terms of clinical depression in the biblical times, because their pace of life was slower. And even when they had difficult times, they would then leave that village, and Jesus said to the disciples, that if you aren't accepted, you are to knock the dust off your shoes and you are to leave. And then they would walk to the next village, which might have been a day's walk away or 2 days walk, which would possibly be, 15-20 minutes in the car. But that day's walk, walking and talking and processing those emotions that maybe they felt from the rejection, they had that time to deal with that and process. So depression wasn't around in those times because they had time to deal with. Now, I do understand that there is, I think it's clinical depression. It's the chemical, where there are chemicals in your brain that aren't balanced that cause the depression. So I do appreciate there are different kinds of depression. So in our busyness of life, we don't have time to process, and it's those little things. We might have a bad day at work, but because we dash home and maybe we're having to deal with rush hour traffic, it's not easy to relax and allow the subconscious to sort through how things have worked. And then you come home to home life, and if you've got kids and husbands, or wives if you're a bloke watching this, that then home life takes in, and then you're getting ready for the next day. So there isn't physically that time in our busy schedules to process the things that are happening within our day. And I'm not talking about big things. It could be that one comment, or there's been a couple of comments during the day that you've not had time to work through and get evidence for, and your brain has reacted. Somebody has said something and you've not had time to think, now, did they mean that? Is there any truth within that comment? Do I need to ignore that? Do I need to address that? Sometimes we just don't have time to do that. And when that builds up, when there are lots of those little cuts, it can still cause a lot of pain in our lives, and can cause our bodies to go into depression, that it physically slows us down to give our brains time to cope and to deal with those emotions and those comments. But because of the world that we live in, and although it is becoming more acceptable and mental health is as important as our physical health, there is still that bit of a stigma that people don't want to talk about depression. One, because it's difficult to talk about, because it's hard to put into words what it is that you're actually feeling, or how your body is responding, or why on such a glorious day do I want to just crawl into bed and pull the covers over my head. And two, people don't know really how to respond always to, how are you? Well, actually, no, I'm not very good today. They don't know how to respond. We've got so used to going, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, great. Thank you very much. And, bish, bash, bosh. And you're on to work or into the rest of the conversation. So get ready for the all age worship and make sure I've got all my bits and pieces that I need. And hopefully I'll be chatting to you at some point during the rest of the day.